And we are at the start of the first final of today. It's the women's single final A. Michaela Dutton, we saw her this morning go fast. She's in lane 1. We have Bridget from Narragansett in lane 2, Eliza from Narragansett lane 3, Isabella from Detroit in lane 4, Megan from Greater Dayton Association lane 5, Sarah Kate Rogers from Atomic in lane 6. And these crews are off and moving. We see lanes 1, 3, and 2 duking it out just behind lanes 5, 4, and 2. It looks like lane 7 is our leader. Lane 4, Isabella from Detroit moving quickly as well here. And we see these guys moving through the middle 1,000. We see lane 7 in second here. Behind her, lane 5. Lane 4 looks to be like our leader here. As these crews move through the middle stretch of this race, just behind them, a couple lengths open, we have lane 3, lane 6. Lane 3 about a 1 length, little less than that advantage over lane 6. And a couple lengths behind them, lane 2. Lane 7, lane 5, we see 5 making a run for lane 7. These crews are 1,000 meters to go in the middle of the third 5 now, beginning of the third 5. Lane 5 definitely gaining speed here. She's looking slightly over her shoulder, looking to make moves on this crew next to her. Looking at our leader in lane 3, looks like 5 now has overtaken lane 7. Definitely saw her do some power work about 20 strokes ago to take that lead over lane 7. Lane 5 now definitely on the move. She's taken a half a length advantage over lane 7. These guys are 750 to go. They're 1250 down, and they are looking towards the last 500 meters. But look out, here comes lane 3. It's Eliza Caulfield from Narragansett making a move towards lane 7. Lane 4, our clear leader in this race, Looking strong and collected as she approaches the last 500. And moving into the last 500 meters, this is the women's youth single A final. It's our first final of the day for the youth national title. Lane 4 out ahead, not looking back as she looks towards the last 500 meters of this race. These crews now in the last 250. Again, we saw lane 4, Isabella decidedly leading this race. These crews now looking towards the very last stretch here for the women's youth single title. Lane 4, open water lead as she moves towards the line. Well into the last 250. Behind her, lane 3, Eliza from Narragansett. And it's lane 4, Isabella from Detroit, in the last stretch of her race for the youth national title. And it's lane 4, followed by lane 5, lane 3 in third, lane 7 in fourth, lane 6, really incredible sprint here as she moves through the last few strokes. And now we're up at the start of the men's single final A, 750 down. And in lane 2, Narragansett, lane 3, Narragansett, lane 4, Culver Academies, lane 5, Row America, lane 6, Detroit, and lane 7, Saratoga. Looks like bow number 4 is our leader here from Culver Academies. In the men's single final, our second final of the day, bow number 4 out quick. We see Saratoga, bow number 6, Emery doing well here as well. He's about a length ahead of bow number 3. And with 2 Narragansett shells in this race, and as we look back towards the front of the pack here, we see bow number 5 cruising from Row America, Leon Chambers. But bow number 4 is our leader right now, Joseph Sterner from Culver Academies, leading this race for first with Leon in second. At a very solid base cadence here. Joseph Sterner, bow number 4 for Culver Academies, right now leading the men's youth single final. As we look towards the last 500, it's bow number 4, Joseph, bow number 5, Leon from Row America, moving into the last 5. And we saw bow number 4 with a comfortable lead, bow number 5 just behind him. We'll see what these guys are up to as we get a little bit closer here. And what they can do in the sprint. Narragansett shells moving nicely as well. But it's bow number 4, Joseph Sterner, Culver Academies. Definitely a contender here as we look toward the last 250. And it looks like it is bow number 4 maintaining his lead. Bow number 1, Narragansett, moving well here in the last stretch as well. But it's decidedly Joseph Sterner of Culver Academies who will take the men's youth single in the final. Bow number 5 cruising, that's Leon Chambers, Row America. We saw him moving quickly in the first 1,000 as well. He'll take second. And in third, Jack Luby, Narragansett. No. And we are 500 meters down for the women's lightweight double final. Bow number 1 just ahead of bow number 5. Bow number 1 in second. Bow number 3 leading this race. Bow number 4 leading this race just behind them. Bow number 3, then bow 1 and bow 5. So bow 4 is our clear leader here by open water. Over bow number 3, it was about a half a length open water behind them. And about a half a length open water behind them is bow number 5. Lane 4 clearly leading this race. Lane 4 about a half a length advantage over lane 3, who's got about 3/4 of a length advantage over lane 1. So it's lanes 4, 3, 1, 1,000 meters to go. With all of these crews, a pretty comfortable margin between them of just about 1 length, give or take. Moving through with 7:50 to go. And it's bow 3, slight advantage over bow 4. These guys definitely duking it out. I'd say bow 4 is moving. And in fact, they've just taken some water over bow number 3. .500 meters to go. And it's bow number 3 as these crews move into the last 250. Definitely just shifted into some kind of a sprint sequence. And it's bow 3 to win this and cross the line first. The women's lightweight youth double A final. Bow number 4 just behind them. On the far side, bow number 1 takes 3rd, bow number 5 takes 4th. And bow number 6 and number 2, 5th and 6th respectively. And we are off the start at the women's double final. Bow number 4 and bow number 6 off to a quick start, but it's bow number 4 taking an advantage over 6 and lane 5. Here comes lane 2. So it's 4, 6, 2. In lane 4, Seattle Rowing Center. Just behind lane 2, Long Beach. 500 meters down. It's Long Beach leading this race. They're just less than a length shy over Seattle Rowing Center. And it's Long Beach now by maybe just a length. This is the women's double A final. It is definitely Long Beach now by just over open water over Seattle Rowing Center, which means Long Beach is moving. About a length or so open water behind them, we have bows 5 and 6, which is Cambridge and Resilient. It's Cambridge over Resilient by just less than a seat. Almost bow ball to bow ball. But again, the clear leaders here, Long Beach, Seattle Rowing Center. And it's Long Beach about 3/4 of a length over Seattle Rowing Center. We see Long Beach sitting right on Seattle Rowing Center's stern deck. But I'd say Seattle is gaining some speed here because they're starting to walk a little bit back into Long Beach. Now there's about a half a length overlap between these two for first and second. And I'd say right now it is going to be a very tight race between Long Beach and Seattle Rowing Center. About a length open water, maybe a little bit more back behind them. We have Cambridge and Resilient, and then behind them Narragansett and GMS. With GMS in 5th. 1,000 meters to go. This is the women's youth double A final. Every stroke matters here. And right now it's a dogfight between Long Beach and Seattle Rowing Center. Seattle is now leading for the first time. Here goes Seattle Rowing Center. They are just about a deck over Long Beach right now as we look towards the last 750 of this race. It's Seattle Rowing Center, a half a length over Long Beach for the women's double title. And now Long Beach is answering them. I'd say Long Beach is gaining some speed. We see their stroke seat looking over her shoulder. She's eager to get that bow ball back up. Long Beach one deck behind Seattle Rowing Center. 750 to go. It is Seattle Rowing Center. We're less than 750 to go. We'll see if there's time for Long Beach because Seattle is continuing to move. We can see them gaining speed here as they look towards the last 500. One stroke at a time. They're starting to inch away from Long Beach. Again, we see Long Beach's stroke turning around, making sure that they don't get too far away. Definitely still contact here. We see Long Beach's bow ball sitting on Seattle Rowing Center's in between, I would say, both of these rowers. And it's Seattle a half a length over Long Beach as we look towards the last 500 for the women's double title. Again, we'll see who comes out in third and who in fourth. There was definitely a battle between Cambridge and Resilient, about a length, maybe a length and a half open behind Long Beach and Seattle. So the rest of the field definitely being pushed as well. Cruz now moving through the last 500 meters, thinking about the last 250. And we see Long Beach cruising. Looks like they should be the first ones to hit the red buoys here. But Seattle not far behind them. We'll see as they get a little bit closer just how tight they are. It's 250 to go. Long Beach is cruising. Seattle Rowing Center is cruising. It's less than 250 for the title, the women's youth double. Long Beach definitely shifting up here, we see, with 200 meters to go. They've started their sprint sequence. Let's see how Seattle answers them. It looks like Seattle is now behind them. I'd say it's Long Beach, then it's Seattle. And it is Long Beach by a length. Seattle is sprinting, though. Seattle is moving. What can these guys do in the last few? It's Long Beach, it's Seattle. Definitely less than a second margin there. And for third, it's lane 5, Cambridge. They managed to walk far away from Resilient, who will take fourth in lane 6. On the far side, we see GMS in their final strokes. GMS now coming through the line for 5th. And this is the men's lightweight youth double A final. Really tight race here for first through third. It looks like 3 has done a great job making a move here. 4 and 6, all of these guys really close. And it's Tempe in lane 1, Greenwich in lane 2, and Seattle in lane 3. New Canaan High School lane 4, Amadeus lane 5, and Miami in lane 6. Right now it's 3, 4, and 6. And I'd say it's 3, 6, and 4 in that order. Seattle, Miami, and New Canaan. These guys moving quickly through the first 1,000. We'll see in a moment if their position has changed at all. Last we saw, it was 3-6-4. Looks like lane 3, Seattle solidifying their lead. They're a little less than a length ahead of lane 6 and lane 4. Lane 6 is Miami, lane 4 is New Canaan. Seattle is putting their foot down and they're pressing to get more water. So it's Seattle, it's Miami, it's New Canaan in 3rd, lane 5, Amadeus in 4th. We'll see what Seattle can do in the second 1,000 here in the last 750. I'd say Amadeus starting to make a little bit of a move back into lane 4, into New Canaan, while lane 3, Seattle, looking long and strong. They've opened it up, and they now have an open water lead over the field. These guys definitely getting work done in the middle of the stroke. You can see that suspension. We're 7:50 to go, and it is Seattle who is leading this race, and we can see why. It's Seattle, then it's Miami in lane 6. Here comes number 5, lane 5, Amadeus. They looked like they were moving. They are moving, and they've now passed New Canaan. So it's Miami for second. It's Amadeus for third. And it's New Canaan for fourth. It's going to be very tight for second, third, and fourth. Definitely a dogfight here in this final. Brilliant racing here for second, third, and fourth. Amadeus, really nice work in the middle of this race because we see their bow balls ahead. They just moved into second. Seattle still leading this race. Amadeus getting work done in the middle 1,000. These guys, 500 meters to go. Second, third, fourth, all going to be really tight. But if Amadeus keeps moving like they did in the middle of the race, then they will solidify that second place spot. .500 meters to go. We'll see what this looks like as we get a little bit closer. I'm betting on Seattle as we look towards the last 250. Again, these guys looked relaxed. They were moving the boat really well. And they look like they still are as we approach the last stretch of this race. Men's lightweight youth double. This is the A final. Here comes Seattle. Will it be New Canaan? Will it be Amadeus? Or will it be Miami for second, third, fourth? These guys in the last 250. Here they come into the last stretch. It's Seattle all day, long and strong. Moving into their last 30 strokes. With a big margin over the rest of the field, it's Seattle. Here comes lane 4. Just behind them, lane 5. So it's New Canaan, Amadeus very close. Wow. Really exciting finish for second, third, and fourth. We'll have times in just a moment. I would say either bow 4, bow 6 for second and third. And times for the men's lightweight youth double. Really brilliant finish there. It was Seattle at 6:54. It was Amadeus at 6:59.8. New Canaan 6:59.9. And Miami at 6 59.97. So very, very tight finish. 59.8, 59.95, and 59.97. And we are moving into the last 500 meters of the men's youth double final. We've noticed, due to the wind, some lane changes, and that the lanes aren't quite matching up to the sheet. So I'll be calling bow numbers. Looks like lane 7 out in the lead here, followed by lane 5, lane 6, 3, 2, and 1. Lane 7 out ahead as these guys move into the last 250. And it's 7-5. Both of those crews moving very fast in their last stretch, but lane 7 cruising towards the line. It's lane 7 just about one length over lane 5. Very strong sprint from those guys. It's 7-5, followed by lane 1. Lane 3 in 4th. Lane 6 cruising through now in 5th. And on the far side, lane 2 in their final strokes for 6th. And we're at the start of the women's pair. The women's pair A final. These crews off to a fast start. It's lane 3 over lane 5. Lane 3 definitely making moves, settling into their base cadence, moving quickly. It's lane 3 now leading this race decidedly. Pretty tight pack here for second. Lane 4 starting to emerge as a second place leader. Bows 6 and 2. Close contenders as well. In fact, lane 2 is definitely moving. Lanes 4, 2, 1, all very close at the 500 meter down. Lane 4 now beginning to push the rest of the field back. Lane 3 got out quick behind them. Lane 4 with the pack, but lane 3 cruising. They're not looking back. Lane 1 now making a move. Big push for spots 2, 3, and 4 here. This should be a very exciting race. Lane 1 definitely just gained some speed. In fact, they're now one length over lane 2, and they're moving into lane 3. They took some kind of a shift because they're moving. They're continuing to move. Lane 1 coming up on lane 3. Lane 1, I'd say, now leading this race. Connecticut, maybe still just a half a length or so behind. Little bit more than that from lane 3, but Connecticut just took a really big move that got them up close to lane 3. So it's lane 1 Connecticut, lane 3 definitely going after it. I'd say Connecticut is on the move again, now starting to push lane 3 back. Lane 2, 4 just behind them, battling for third. Right now it's lane 2 advantage over lane 4. which means our finishing order right now would be lane 1, lane 3, lane 2, then lane 4. Just about a length behind lane 4 and 2, we see lane 5. Lane 2 starting to push their bow ball back into lane 3, which means lane 2 and 4 are starting to gain a little bit of speed. Lane 3 might be losing just a touch of speed. Lane 1 is gone. They've passed lane 3. This is Connecticut. They're moving. They're continuing to move. Very strong work here from Connecticut in the second 500 that they've carried through into the third 5. 7:50 to go. It's Connecticut about 1 length open over lane 2. Lane 2, 3, and 4. It is a dogfight for second, third, and fourth. Right now it's lane 2, then lane 4, then lane 3. Lane 3 moving back a little bit as lane 2 and 4 gain another level, gain a bit more speed here. But it's still Connecticut leading this race, the women's pair. And it's now lane 2, about 3/4 of a length up over lane 4. Connecticut leading. Lane 2 is moving right now. They're almost stern to bow on lane 4, and we are 500 meters to go. We'll see who has another gear in the last 5. Looks like lane 3 might be getting flagged. Just for steering. And that flag is down. It's Connecticut leading the last 500 of this race, last 300 meters. It's lane 2 behind them. Little bit of a half crab in lane 3. But Connecticut cruising towards the finish line. These guys are looking to take the women's youth pair title in the last 250. Lane 2, at least a length open water behind them. Connecticut long and strong as they approach the last 30 or so strokes. And here comes Connecticut. They've taken up the stroke rate yet again, making sure that they have the youth pair title here as they come through this last stretch. And it's Connecticut by open water. The flag is down for them. It's lane 4 now over lane 2 by 3/4 of a length. Lane 4 takes second. Lane 2 takes third. Lane 5 will take fourth. Lane 1 will take 6. And lane 6 will take 6. Up next, men's pair final. We're sure this isn't right. Like, I'm so tempted to call that, but we're sure that's not right.
Well, we're not sure.
Yeah. And this is the men's pair final A in this race. Commencement Bay, St. Louis, NorCal, Saugatuck, San Diego, and Oklahoma. And these guys are off to a quick start. 500 meters down. And we see bow number 3 leading this. NorCal out ahead, continuing to move, followed by bow number 1. So right now it's bow number 3 in the lead, then bow 1, bow 4, bow 5, and bow 6. Tight racing here for second and third, but bow number 4 cruising in their second place. Bow number 3 decidedly leading this final. NorCal looking strong and controlled. Saugatuck in lane 4, bow to stern. Here comes lane 6, Oklahoma on the far side. These guys mid-second 500. Behind Oklahoma is lane 5, San Diego. Thousand meters down, 1,000 meters to go. Oklahoma pushing their bow ball into bow number 4. But NorCal looking long and strong here in the middle 1,000, pushing the rest of the field out. NorCal in lane 3, clearly leading this race as we look towards the third 500. Just open water behind them is bow number 4, Saugatuck. Saugatuck with an open water lead, 7:50 to go over lane 6, Oklahoma, which means it's NorCal, Saugatuck, Oklahoma for the top 3, and then bow number 5, San Diego for 4th. Pretty consistent margins now between these crews of just about a length, give or take, a little bit more than a length, just breaking into open water. But it's NorCal maintaining their lead, maintaining their margin. NorCal over lane 4, Saugatuck. And open water behind Saugatuck, lane 6, Oklahoma. And looking towards the last 500 now. Again, it's NorCal, Saugatuck, San Diego. These crews moving through the last 500, looking toward the last 250. This is the men's pair A final, and it looks like it's going to be NorCal with 250 meters to go. Lane 2, St. Louis, has passed NorCal in the last 500. It's St. Louis over NorCal in the last stretch. So it's St. Louis, NorCal, then Lane 4, Saugatuck to take third. Lane 6, Oklahoma to take fourth. Lane 1 followed closely behind Lane 5 for 5th and 6th. And we're back up at the start of the women's quad Final A with Seattle Rowing Center, Long Beach, Y Quad Cities, New Canaan High School, Redwood, and Saratoga. And these crews are off. Lane 3 looking sharp as these guys leave the gate, but ahead of them are Lane 4, Lane 5, Lane 6, Saratoga looking good. Quick start out of the gate. Here comes Redwood, though. Redwood now just edging out Saratoga. It is a very tight start here. Lanes 3, 4, 5, 6, all packed in closely together. Looks like Lane 3, advantage over Lane 4 and 5. Lane 6, Saratoga sticking right with them. But it's Lane 3, Y Quad Cities, moving out pretty quick right now. These guys cruising through the first 500 meters. Long Beach looking strong. They're about a length over Seattle Rowing Center in Lane 1. For the women's youth quad A final. And it is Y Quad Cities leading this race by a little less than a length over the rest of the field. Saratoga looking solid in lane 6 in second place here, just behind Y Quad Cities, about 3/4 of a length behind Y Quad Cities. Behind them in third is New Canaan, followed by Redwood. Y Quad Cities right now are clear leader of this race. These crews now moving through the middle 1,000. Are we already at the 500?
No, we just don't really have a picture.
And it's Y Quad Cities leading this race by about a length, just breaking into a length open. Saratoga doing nice work in lane 6, pressing in to maintain their second spot position. In bow number 6, there is definite overlap. Saratoga's bow ball pressing into Y Quad Cities. These guys are moving. Saratoga now one length up over lane 4, New Canaan High School. Looks like Redwood correcting their course here. Saratoga moving nice and straight. Rest of the field, we have lane 2 and lane 4 duking it out. Right now, lane 2, Long Beach, just over lane 4, New Canaan. Saratoga pushing back the rest of the field, looking brilliant in the middle 1,000. But it's Y Quad Cities who has an open water lead over Saratoga. Y Quad Cities is first, Saratoga is second, and it is a tight race for third and fourth. 750 meters to go. Saratoga's in a position for a silver medal if they can hold off Long Beach, who's starting to move. Long Beach has now pushed their bow ball into Saratoga's stern deck. Their bow ball is right on Saratoga's 4 seat, and behind Long Beach is bow number 4, New Cannon. This is a fight for medals right now. Right now, it's Y Quad Cities. Looks like they're ready to take the gold. Can Saratoga hold off Long Beach for long enough to solidify the silver? We see Saratoga stroke seat looking over at Long Beach right now. Long Beach is on the move. They're starting to move through Saratoga. Long Beach is now just past Saratoga's bow ball. So it is Y Quad Cities, it is Long Beach, and it's Saratoga in third. Looking towards the last 500, it will all come down to the sprint for these crews. 500 meters to go. Long Beach is in it. Saratoga is in it. Y Quad Cities, New Cannon, all of these guys doing good work. We'll see who can get to the line the quickest. We saw Long Beach definitely taking some kind of a move. We'll see if they can sustain it as we look towards the last 400. Y Quad Cities maintaining their lead out ahead. Y Quad Cities maintaining their lead over Long Beach. It's Y Quad Cities over Long Beach. It's 2:50 to go. Can we zoom out a little bit? I just can't. They're like so zoomed in. There we go. And it's Y Quad Cities making a run for it towards the line with an open water lead over Long Beach, who's vying for silver right now in the last 20 strokes of this race. It's Y Quad Cities, Long Beach. Here comes Saratoga with their sprint in lane 6. It's Y Quad Cities. Will Saratoga take it in the last 10 strokes? It's Saratoga in lane 6 in the last few. Very tight horn there for second and third. It's Y Quad Cities for the win. We'll have a time in just a moment. In fourth, here comes lane 4, New Cannon. Lane 5 for fifth, Redwood. And on the far side, lane 1, Seattle for sixth. And it's Y Quad Cities at 6:57.6. Saratoga in second. Awesome work from these guys at 7:03.21. Long Beach at 7:03.26. New Cannon 7:10. Redwood 7:18. And Seattle 7:26.8. Fair race. And this is the men's quad final. We have Olympia Area Association, or OAR. Brophy College Prep, New Canaan High School. B, New Canaan High School A, Malvern Prep, and Conestoga Club. It looks like lane 4 out to a quick start. That's New Canaan. Lane 4 moving out ahead in this final, just about 1 length over the rest of the field. Over lane 5, 3, 1. The rest of the field packed pretty tightly here. Lanes 1 and 3 vying for second. Looks like it might be lane 1, but it's going stroke by stroke right now. It could be lane 3, could be lane 1, depending on the stroke. These guys are 500 meters down. And I'd say it's lane 3, slight advantage over lane 1, New Canaan over OAR. And it's bow number 3 now over 1, which means our finishing order right now would be lane 4, lane 3, lane 1, New Canaan A, New Canaan B, and OAR. New Canaan has command over this race in lane 4. They're about a length or so, just breaking into open water over lane 3, the New Canaan B shell. And we see lane 2 and lane 1 maintaining contact with each other. Lane 2, Brophy College Prep. Lane 1, OAR. They're bow ball to bow ball. But it's lane 4, New Canaan. Lane 3, New Canaan. Lane 1, OAR in the top 3 spots. Lane 4, looking to hold off lane 3. Again, these are both New Canaan shells. That must feel pretty good for these guys. Lane 3, New Canaan B, looking to press into their A boat. Lane 1 and lane 2 duking it out just behind them, about a length behind. Lane 1, OAR, definitely making some kind of a move to walk through lane 2. OAR looking to solidify that bronze medal with 500 meters to go. Into the last 500. And we'll see what these two New Canaan schools can do in the very last stretch. We saw lane 1 OAR starting to creep up on both of those shells. We may see a tighter finish for spots 1 for 3rd than we thought. Coming into the last stretch of this piece, Lane 1, brilliant work from OAR. We just saw them walk through these crews in the last stretch. Lane 1 moving, but it's Lane 4, New Cannon, our early leaders who will take this race and this final. It's Lane 4, New Cannon, followed by their teammates in Lane 3 for silver. Lane 1 and 2 really close for bronze. Looks like it might have been Lane 2 in the end. We'll have times in just a moment. And just behind them, Lane 5 and Lane 6, Malvern Prep, Conestoga. And the times are up. It was New Cannon A, New Cannon B. It was Brophy College Prep over OAR by 0.2 of a second, barely. Up next is the women's lightweight 8. This race includes Sarasota, Oklahoma, Saugatuck, Holy Names, Cincy Juniors, and Newport Aquatic Center. And we are off the line in the women's lightweight 8 final. Cincy Juniors out fast in Lane 5. Lane 4 right with them, Holy Names Academy. Rest of the field just slightly behind them in Lane 3, Saugatuck. Lane 1, Sarasota making a move as well. Saugatuck, definitely one of our leaders here. Lane 2, about 1 length or so behind the pack. .500 meters down. Lane 3 definitely out, staying out. Lane 4 right with them. That's Saugatuck and Holy Names respectively. Lane 3, Lane 4. Not too much margin between these guys though. Saugatuck up only about 1 seat. And about 3/4 of a length behind both of these guys, we have the Cincinnati Juniors in 3rd. Lane 3, Saugatuck, Holy Names, Coxon to Coxon now. Saugatuck slight advantage over Holy Names. Cincinnati Juniors keeping their bow ball in it, but they're about 3/4 of a length behind our two leaders, Saugatuck and Holy Names. Holy Names has yet to lead this race, and man, they are close. About a length behind that pack, we have Oklahoma in lane 1. They're leading over lane 6, Newport, by about a half a length. And lane 2, Oklahoma, lane 1, Sarasota. Saugatuck has taken about a seat or so from Holy Names. Still very tight racing between these guys, but that means Saugatuck is up by about a deck. And it's Saugatuck over Holy Names now maintaining this margin. Cincy Juniors still keeping their bow balls in it in lane 5. Right now, these three crews, I'd say, maintaining their margin across the board. It's Saugatuck, Holy Names, Cincy Juniors. Saugatuck and Holy Names definitely the closest. Cincy Juniors about 3/4 of a length, maybe a little bit more behind, not a full length. Saugatuck is gaining speed because their coxswain is now on Holy Name's 7 seat as these crews look towards the last 750, last stretch of this race. Saugatuck coxswain definitely walking her crew through Holy Names. She's now in 6 seat. We see her looking over at that shell. She's moved from 8, 7 down to 6, solidifying her lead over Holy Names. That means Saugatuck coxswain almost on Cincinnati's bow ball, who's in 3rd. Right now, she's walked her way down to the 6th seat, but she's sitting there, which means either Holy Names is getting a little bit faster and answering them, or Saugatuck is looking to pick up even more speed. She's now down to the 5 seat. She's moving, continuing to move. Saugatuck now up a half a length over Holy Names. Holy Names up over 1 length on Cincy Juniors and Sarasota. 500 meters to go. It's going to be a race for second, I think. Always time for Holy Names to come back and try to take it from Saugatuck. We'll see what these guys can do with just about 450 to go.
Okay, sounds good. Well, we'll put it on the chart.
Looks like Sarasota has shifted up as well.
Helping, that was a good suggestion.
Looking towards the last 250. Last we saw, it was Saugatuck, Holy Names, Cincy Juniors. Last 250, though, here comes Sarasota, and it looks like, again, they've shifted up. It is lane 3, Saugatuck, our clear leaders now. They've walked by Holy Names completely. They're about 1 length up, if not more, on them. Sarasota is really vying for 3rd now, taking it from the Cincy Juniors. It's Saugatuck. I think it could be Cincy, though. I think they're still ahead of Sarasota. They are. It's Saugatuck, Holy Names, Cincy Juniors, all within a half a length of each other, with Sarasota in 4th. Followed by Newport Aquatic Center coming through in lane 6. And up next is the women's Youth 4 A final.
Alright, 7 races. Everybody gets a break. Well, I don't know about everybody at the same time, but we'll start rotating breaks once we go to the heat finals. Paul will come in first, and then Brent and E will come in. We'll just have one boat cover kind of in the middle, and then swap it out.
And this is the women's Youth 4 A final with Oakland leading.
4-5, then 2, then 6.
With lane 5 just behind them, Berkeley High School, then lane 2, River City. Noble in lane 6. Followed by lane 3, the Windsor School, back to St. Louis in lane 1. We see lanes 3 and 6 pretty close to each other here, but it is 6 over 3 right now. Oakland Strokes still leading this race in lane 4 by a little less than a length over lane 5, Berkeley High School. Lane bow ball number 2 right with them, that's River City. So it's Oakland, Berkeley, River City, but Berkeley and River City, a very tight race here for second. Almost Coxon to Coxon. In fact, we see River City just starting to take an advantage over Berkeley High School. River City definitely on the move. Their lane 2, their bow ball starting to press into Oakland. Oakland maintaining their lead in lane 4 here, though. But look out, here comes River City, and there's definite overlap. River City's bow ball almost on the 4 seat of Oakland. Just about a deck behind him. River City definitely took some kind of a move there. We'll see if they can maintain that momentum in the latter half of this race. But it's Oakland strokes right now. They got out early. They're staying out. It's Oakland. It's River City. Then it's lane 5, Berkeley. Lane 3, the Windsor School, looking to push their bow ball in there too. St. Louis, lane 1, about a length back from lanes 3 and 5. But it's Oakland leading by open water. It's River City in lane 2, which means Oakland's probably gained a little bit of speed to push River City back. Oakland, River City, now bow ball to stern to bow. Oakland leading, River City in second. The Windsor School now looking to take third, which means they have really been moving in the third 500. They're looking to take home a bronze. So it's Oakland, River City. Last we saw the Windsor School starting to push Berkeley High back. All of these crews in the last 500 now. Crews now with just about 300 meters to go for the women's 4A final. Oakland was an early leader. They've been leading throughout this race. We'll see what they can do in the last 250. Less than 250 to go for these leading crews. It's still Oakland in lane 3. Or lane 4. Lane 2, River City doing nice work as well. Looks like it's going to be Oakland and then River City, followed by the Windsor School. We saw them take a push just before the 500 to go in the middle part of this race. And it's Oakland for the win, the Women's Youth 4 final. It's bow 2, River City, followed by the Windsor School, followed by Berkeley High, then St. Louis in lane 1, and in lane 6, Nobles. Thank you. And we're up at the start of the men's lightweight youth 4A final. Bow number 4 leading us right now, followed by bow number 2 and bow number 3. Bow number 4, NorCal, they're back. Bow 2, Atlanta, and bow 3, Rye High School. Bow number 6, Rockford, keeping their bow ball in there as well. About a length behind them is Brookline High School. 500 meters down, tight racing for second, third, even first here. Rye High School making a run at NorCal. NorCal has a little over a deck on Rye at the moment, just over 500 meters in. Looks like NorCal gaining a little bit of speed to push Rye back. Rye about half a length advantage over lanes 5 and 6. Bow number 2, Atlanta, about 1 length behind Rye and about a half a length behind lanes 5, Camp Randall, and 6, Rockford. The field's starting to spread out just a little bit more. NorCal maintaining their lead over Rye High School. Definite overlap between these two crews, though. It's NorCal by about 3/4 of a length. NorCal took a shift. They're starting to push bow number 3, Rye High School, back. Behind Rye is bow 5, which is Camp Randall. They've gained some speed over the last 200 meters. Just behind Camp Randall, bow 2, Atlanta, which means we're looking at NorCal as our leader, Rye in second, Camp Randall in third, and Atlanta in fourth. Although, look out, Atlanta is going to give Camp Randall a run for their money and for that bronze medal right now. Atlanta is now over Camp Randall by about a half a length. Definitely took some kind of a power move there in the middle of the race. Which means Atlanta is a little less, about 3/4 of a length or so, behind Rye High School. So it's NorCal, these guys, 3/4 of a length margin between NorCal, who's leading, Rye High School in second, and Atlanta in third. NorCal can see the entire field. They'll be looking to open up their margin in the last stretch of this race. Right now we see NorCal maintaining their margin with Rye maintaining their margin with NorCal, although I'd say right as I said that, NorCal starting to make a shift, and they're now decidedly bow to stern with Rye High School. So they're looking to gain speed in the last stretch, which means Rye is decidedly in second, and behind them Atlanta decidedly in third. Each of these crews about 1 length apart from each other. The rest of the field behind Atlanta about a half a length behind them. Camp Randall, Rockford, Brookline about a length behind Camp Randall and Rockford. Just a touch of open water between third and second. Definite overlap between second and first. Rye now 3/4 of a length behind NorCal. 500 meters to go. Rye has shifted up. It looks like they're taking their sprint. Atlanta's sticking right with them. Less than 500 meters to go. Looking at the last 450. Definitely should be a tight race for spots 1 through 3. Last we checked, it was NorCal, Rye, Atlanta, followed by Camp Randall. We'll see which one of these crews can pull out a good sprint. Oh, thank you. Getting ready to cross into the last 250. These crews now in the last 250. Lanes 2, 3, 4, all looking very sharp. It is going to be a very tight race here, folks. I'd say 2 and 4, advantage over lane 3. Here comes lane 4, NorCal. It's NorCal, followed by Rye, followed by Atlanta. About a half a length margin between all 3 of these guys, but it looks like it'll be NorCal first, then Rye, then Atlanta. Spots 1, 2, and 3 In fourth, lane 5. In fifth, lane 1. In sixth, lane 6. That was the men's lightweight youth 4A final. It was NorCal, Rye, Atlanta for the top 3 spots. Up next, men's youth 4A final.
There's your water.
Yeah. And this is the men's 4A final with Bromfield, Acton, Boxborough, Noble, Belmont Hill School, Deerfield Academy, Row America, and Capital City. And it looks like bound number 4, Deerfield Academy, off to a fast start, right with Belmont Hill. Very close for first and second with 500 meters down. I'd say it's Belmont Hill over Deerfield by a bow ball. These two are definitely our leading crews, and I'd say, yes, it's Belmont over Deerfield at the moment. Row America in lane 5. They look to be in third. And it's lane 3 leading this race. Belmont, they've opened it up at least a half a length, almost 3/4 of a length over Deerfield in lane 4. Followed by lane 5, Row America. Those are our top 3 spots right now. All within about a half a length of each other, give or take. Looks like Deerfield is on the move. They're starting to walk through bout number 5, Row America. Bout number 3 leading this race. It's Belmont Hill. They're a little less than a half a length up. Just about a half a length. Deerfield right with them, right next to them. Row America looks to be making a move as well. These guys moving quickly through the middle 1,000 of this piece. Lane 6, Capital City, not far off lane 5, Row America either. Definitely keeping contact between all of these shells. But it's bow number 3. They're our leader. They got out early. They're staying ahead thus far. That's Belmont Hill. It's 12:50 down. Right next to them is Deerfield Academy. Belmont Hill is definitely in a move. We can see them starting to answer Deerfield. Deerfield starting to press the rest of the field back. For the men's 4A final, right now it's Belmont. Then it's Deerfield. It'll be a dogfight for third between Row America and Capital City for now. Noble is keeping their bow ball in this as well, though they're about a length or so, half a length behind bow number 5 and 6. So our leaders are Belmont Hill in first, Deerfield in second, Row America third, Capital City in fourth, bow number 2, Noble in fifth, and Bromfield in lane 1 and sixth. 500 meters to go. Half a length margin between Belmont and Deerfield. Little bit, I'd say Belmont is starting to walk. Into the last 500. Looks like Deerfield still continuing to move. May have seen a little half crab from the Belmont Hill boat. Though looks like they've made up that speed, probably taking some kind of a power move for that missed stroke. It's going to be tight between Belmont Hill and Deerfield. These guys are now in the last 250. It's Belmont Hill over Deerfield. They're 200 meters to go. It looks like Belmont now making sure they take home the gold. They're just about a length. And it's Belmont Hill in lane 3 coming through the line. Little bit of a misstroke there. And it looks like lane 5, Row America, may have taken it due to that misstroke. Really tight finish here. We'll have times in just a moment. And it's Row America Rye in first at 630.5. Belmont 630.6. Deerfield 632.8. Noble in fourth at 633. Capital City 633.8. And Bromfield, Acton, Boxborough 647. And this is the women's lightweight youth 4A final. Lanes 3 and 5 early leaders, Long Beach and Miami.
Nice. You go ahead and hand back to the
500 meters down. Lane 3 and lane 5 still leading the pack in that order. It's Long Beach by about a deck over lane 5, Miami. Here comes bow ball number 2, Pacific, staying in the mix. Bow ball number 4 sticking in as well. That's Greenwich, which means it's Long Beach in first, Miami in second, Pacific in third, and Greenwich in fourth.
Long Beach just fell behind. Hey, can you hand back to the left? It looks like Long Beach just lost their lead to number 5.
Long Beach and Miami duking it out for first right now. It looks like Miami is on the move. They've just taken about a bow ball, a little bit more from Long Beach, and they are now our leaders. It's Miami over Long Beach for first and second, respectively. It's Miami over Long Beach by a little less than a deck.
Happens for lane 3, or place number 3. Yep, through 4. There we go. Lane 2 and lane 4.
And we see lane 2 and lane 4, Pacific and Greenwich fighting it out as well. I'd say it's Greenwich over Pacific for third. Very tight, though. Here comes Pacific. I'd say now they are over Greenwich. And Pacific is now decidedly over Greenwich, which means we're looking at Miami, Long Beach, Pacific, and Greenwich for your top 4 spots. It's 1,000 meters down.
Back up and see if Long Beach is extended. Looks like they're extended a little bit. It looks like lane 2 is challenging Miami up there in 5.
Looks like 2 pushing in to lane 3 and lane 5. Lane 2, Pacific, they're gaining speed here in the middle part of this race. We see that Coxon looking over at lane 5. Lane 5 holding them off.
All right, let's give a quick hand back to our 4th and 5th place. They're also in its maritime here.
And on the far side, it's Upper Arlington. Or it's St. Louis followed by Upper Arlington.
So whip hand to the leaders, and I'm going to cover you. Back with the leader.
And we're looking at Long Beach as our leader right now in lane 3 over Miami in lane 5.
Awesome.
In third, we're looking at Pacific in lane 2. It's Long Beach, Miami, Pacific, followed by Greenwich in lane 4. It's going to be a fight for silver and bronze right now between these crews. Right now, Long Beach commanding this race, but Pacific really pushing their bow ball into Long Beach. Miami in third, maintaining that position. These guys heading into the back half of this race, well into the back half, into the last 500 meters.
Okay, we're going to switch over to the finish in 3, 2, 1. Switch. Finish camera is live. Launch camera is out. Launch camera is out. Finish is live.
We'll see what these crews can do in the last 5. Last we saw, it was Long Beach, Miami, Pacific, and Greenwich all in a fight for first through 4th. Looks like Long Beach taking the lead here. We'll see what silver and bronze look like as these crews get a little closer. Long Beach looking strong with Pacific. These guys are less than 250 meters to go. And we'll see as they come close. It looks like Pacific definitely gained some speed in this last stretch. It's Pacific and Long Beach. I'd say it's still Long Beach over Pacific. Here comes bound number 5, Miami. It's Long Beach, it's Pacific, it's Miami. Followed by Greenwich in 4th. Very tight finish there for 2nd and 3rd. Greenwich in 4th. Bound number 6 coming through the line. And bound number 1 just behind them. And we're at the start of the men's lightweight 8 final. And it was Long Beach who took the women's lightweight 4, followed by Pacific, then Miami, and then Greenwich, St. Louis, Upper Arlington. Up next, men's lightweight youth 8 final. New Trier High School, community rowing, Belen Jesuit Prep, Oakland Stroke, Cincy Juniors, and Marin. And these crews still at the start line. And we are picking up the men's lightweight youth 8. Early leader, bow number 3 here. We see bow 3 taking about a length over the rest of the field. Bow number 3, Belen Jesuit Prep School, about a length behind them. Oakland Strokes. Bow numbers 6 and 2 really close. That's Marin and CRI. Followed by lane 5, Cincinnati Juniors. And lane 1, New Trier High School.
Okay, nice. Now we can go ahead and get back into it. Looks like the second place race is the big one.
750 down. It's a race for second right now. Again, lane 3, the Belen Jesuit Prep School. They're out ahead at least 1 length over Oakland Strokes, just now breaking into open water. Belen Jesuit now open water lead over Oakland Strokes in lane 4. These guys are in second place, looking very strong as they move through the middle 1,000 of this race. We see lane 6 just behind lane 4, which means they're in third. That's Marin. So it's Belen Jesuit, it's Oakland Strokes, it's Marin in third, and it's Cincy Juniors right now in fourth. And it's Belen Jesuit now by a length, although I'd say Oakland is just starting to move. Maybe. Just about astern on those two crews right now. And about 1 length behind Oakland is lane 6. That's Marin. So it's Belen Jesuit. It's Oakland Strokes in second. It's Marin in third. Open water behind them. CRI in lane 2. Which means they've moved up and overtaken lane 5, the Cincy Juniors. CRI doing good work in the middle of this race. They're now starting to press into lane 6. These guys are 500 meters to go. CRI making a run for third, making a run for Marin, and that bronze medal. Last 500 meters to go. This is the men's lightweight youth 8A final. Belen Jesuit is leading. Oakland's in second. Marin's in third, but last we saw CRI was making a run for that third place position with Cincy behind them. Here comes Belen Jesuit in lane 3. They are looking to solidify that lead. You can see their coxswain doing everything he can to get more speed out of his crew. Clearly it's working, because in the last 250, these guys are taking more and more water. Thinking about how much margin they can really open up in the last few stretches. It's got to feel pretty good as these guys come into the last 20 strokes, last 10 strokes. He's looking back, making sure that his crew crosses the finish line first. Look at him go. Nice work from lane 3. That's Belen Jesuit. Here comes lane 4. It's Oakland for silver. Is it lane 2? It's lane 2, then lane 6, which is CRI over Marin. Really exciting racing. Then here comes lane 5, Cincy Juniors over lane 1. which means that finishing order is Belen Jesuit Prep School at 5:54 flat, Oakland Strokes at 5:58, a good almost 5 seconds behind Belen Jesuit, followed by Community Rowing in third, Marin in fourth, about a second, a little less than that. Marin behind CRI in fifth, Cincy, and in sixth, New Trier High School.
Okay, we're right back out there. Women's 8 final.
We are picking up the women's 8A final. It's Cincy Juniors in lane 1, Marin lane 2, Chicago lane 3, Saugatuck in 4, Mercer lane 5, Connecticut in lane 6. And look at Connecticut go. We've seen speed from these guys across the board today. And lane 6 Connecticut is out and moving, but so is the rest of the field. Lane 2 is cruising. Look out for Marin. Lane 4 is moving. That's Saugatuck. Lane 6, just behind them, that's Connecticut. Still pretty tight, and I'd say in fourth is lane 3, which is Chicago. Cincinnati Juniors in lane 1 in either 5th or 6th. Tight racing now in the first 500, in the first 1,000. 500 meters down. Really nice work from these crews here. It's Connecticut, lane 2, Marin, but now our emerging leader is Saugatuck, really looking strong here as these guys cruise through the second 500. That's their sweet spot. It's Saugatuck and it's Connecticut in second right now, walking away from lane 2 Marin. Connecticut in second, Saugatuck in first, Marin in third. We see bow number 5 in fourth, bow number 3 in fifth, Chicago, and bow number 1, Cincinnati, in sixth here in this women's Youth 8 final. These guys approaching the 1,000-meter mark. And it's Saugatuck. They're our leaders, the women's Youth 8A final. It's Saugatuck right now, looking long and strong, leading this race. They have walked on Connecticut by almost a length, little bit less. You see the Saugatuck coxswain looking around. She's looking at Connecticut right now, asking for their bow ball. So it's Saugatuck, Connecticut. It's less than 1,000 to go. And in third place, it's now bow number 5, which is Mercer. They have come up, and bow number 2, Marin, they're not giving in. So it's 4, 6, 5, 2. That's Saugatuck, Connecticut. It's Mercer, and it's Marin right now. Let's see what these guys get up to in the last 750. Look out for bow number 2. Marin is on the move. They're not looking back. They're walking through Connecticut. It's Marin over Connecticut. Right now, lane 4, Saugatuck does not care. They're taking more water over bow number 2, Marin. Can Marin catch Saugatuck? We'll see, because right now Saugatuck is leading this race by a little over a length. The rest of the pack is just behind them. Very tight racing, remembering that we're now just about 500 meters to go, and this is how tight it is between all of these crews. No surprise, we're in the final, but very thrilling to be racing in this. Connecticut said no way. They are holding off bow number 2, Marin, which means that it's our leaders, Saugatuck, by open water right now in lane 4. It's Connecticut in second, and it's Marin in third for gold, silver, and bronze. Saugatuck cruising all day. You see the Saugatuck coxswain looking back. Nice advantage that her crew can see the rest of the field. They can push them back. It's Saugatuck for first. It's 500 to go. Connecticut for second. Dogfight for third between bow 1, 5, and 2. Oh my goodness, here comes the Cincinnati Juniors. They have had some heck of a third 500 into the last 500, carrying that momentum with them, which means it's Saugatuck, Connecticut, Cincy Juniors. So far, they haven't been able to beat Connecticut, but they have walked through the rest of the field, which is quite impressive. Looking towards the last stretch of this race, we're well into the last 500. And we're looking to see how this pans out. Last we saw, Saugatuck had open water lead over the field, including Connecticut. And Cincy was up to something. .250 to go. Saugatuck, Cincy's not stopping. Brilliant work from Cincinnati in the last 750. It's Saugatuck. It's Cincy in lane 1. But it's Saugatuck for the win. Cincinnati Juniors for silver. Unless Connecticut comes up, it's going to be really tight between Connecticut and Cincy. I'd say it's Connecticut right now. It's going to be Connecticut for silver. And I'd say Cincy for bronze. We'll have times in just a moment. The rest of the field just behind them. It's Saugatuck at 629.4, Cincy 634.4. So Cincinnati edged out Marin to take silver. It's Connecticut at 634.5, so those crews were like a tenth of a second away from each other.
4, 3, 6.
And we're up at the start now of the men's 8 Final A. Early leader Sarasota, followed by Oakland Strokes. 500 meters down. Looks like Marin in third. 4 and 3, Sarasota and Oakland duking it out here, starting to walk away from the rest of the field.
Let's zoom. Are we all the way out? Zoom out. Let's go to a pan back through all the crews. Detail.
And it's a very exciting race. It's Oakland Strokes now leading over Sarasota for the men's Youth 8 final. Look out for Marin, though. Here they come. It's Oakland, Marin, Sarasota. Oakland, Marin, Sarasota for gold, silver, bronze. These guys moving through the second 500 toward the 1,000. Pretty tightly packed here. But we see Marin has taken an advantage over these crews now moving through the 1,000. Oakland cruising in lane 3. They're our leader, followed by Marin in lane 6. And Sarasota for third in lane 4. So it's Oakland, Marin, Sarasota. Look out for Marin, though. They're about a half a length behind Oakland. Definite overlap between these three leaders. It's a Southwest Junior Regional rematch here between Oakland and Marin, and look at these guys go. It's Oakland leading. Marin is not letting them get away, though. I'd say these guys are pretty close right now. Oakland advantage over Marin. .500 meters to go. These coxswains are looking over each other.
Quickly pan back to show where everybody else is at, and we'll come back to the lead here.
Again, these guys have raced before, and we see them starting to push the rest of the field back. It is between Oakland and Marin for the gold, and it looks like it's Oakland right now in lane 3, about a half a length advantage over Marin as we look towards the last stretch of this race for the men's Youth 8A final. They have left Sarasota in third.
Finishes live, launches out.
These two crews pushing away from the pack, but it looks like it's Oakland over Marin. We'll see as they get a little bit closer. And here they come. Look at Oakland go in the last 250. There is no stopping these guys, pushing the rest of the field back. And they are in the last stretch of this race. It will be Oakland Strokes for the men's Youth 8 final. They'll take home the gold, gaining lots of water here over Marin in this last stretch. Marin doing a nice job sprinting through the line for that silver. Here comes Sarasota for the bronze, followed by Newport Aquatic. Then lane 2, Gonzaga, and lane 1 on the far side. So it was Oakland with a time of 5:50.4, Marin in second 5:52.8, Sarasota in third 5:57.9, Newport at 6:01.2, Gonzaga 6:03.9.
Something there, but it was pretty much static.
And Rose City at a 6:06.5. So it's Oakland Strokes, your men's Youth 8 winner.